There we go. All right. I am so excited to talk tonight with you guys. We're going to be talking about the comparison trap. And I think this is so important to talk about. And so often we kind of just like skirt around it and don't really dive into it. But so often, I'm sure you guys have heard that comparison is the thief of all joy. And a lot of times, comparison is what's actually keeping us from the success and the happy life that we're looking for. And so I really want to take some time tonight just to kind of address the elephant in the room, right? To address comparison, looking left and right, talk about, how that's affected us, our business, our lives, and then practical ways to kind of navigate that on your own journey. So I'm excited. Macy, if you want to go ahead and jump in here and share a little bit about the comparison trap.
Hey guys, so I do have notes, but I did want to kind of talk about my own little journey first before I get into that. And so, in the beginning, before I joined, I kind of compared myself to my mom, which was my sponsor, because she's like super outgoing. I'm super shy. She's like, she can be best friends with a random stranger, and like, it takes me forever to have the courage to even walk up and say hi to a stranger. And so, when she asked me to join, I was like, there's no way I can do that. I like my words don't flow, like all the things. And anyways, I ended up joining because I felt God was calling me to. And how many people felt like they weren't qualified when they joined? Or how many people have told you like I don't feel qualified, I don't think I'll be good enough, I don't think I'll be good at sales, all the things. That's how I felt when I joined. And anyways, so I've been comparing myself since the beginning. I don't think comparison really goes away in a sense. Like it comes and goes. And so like even to this day, like I still compare myself sometimes. But like Mariah said, comparison is the thief of joy. And so I'm just gonna get into my notes. I might be reading off my notes because that's just how I am. And I'm not going to compare myself to Mariah or anybody else. I literally will just speak it out and like memorize everything. And so, yeah. So if I'm reading off my notes, sorry, bear with me. Okay. So God has a purpose for you and he calls you worthy. He knit you together in your mother's womb. He knows the number of hairs on your head and he calls us by name and he catches every tear that drops. Okay. So that means that God cares about you and he doesn't want you to try to be somebody else. He cares about you. He made you. He loves you and he created you for a purpose and with purpose. And so our timeline for our lives and for our businesses and all the things are going to look different than everybody else's. And so you may be in a waiting season for a promotion, or you may be in that final, like the end of the waiting season, getting those promotions and bonuses. But the thing is, you got to keep your eyes forward and trust that God has a plan for you. And so in those waiting seasons, God will use you to mold you and to just kind of grow you in a way. And I honestly feel like that's what God's doing for me right now. I'm in that waiting season. I'm in that growing season. And I'm not comparing myself to the ones that are winning, getting all the bonuses and all the promotions. They're like all the good things, because I know God has that for me soon. And sorry, I'm going to keep going back to my notes. He's never early or late. He's always on time. And so you've just got to put your faith in that and just keep your eyes on the prize. And once we stop comparing and start trusting, I feel like our anxiety will just go away and we won't feel like we have to have it happen right this second. And we'll also learn to just be confident in who God created us to be. And the last thing I wanted to say is you are beautiful, you are worthy, you are enough, you are capable, you are all the things. And again, just stop looking left and right. Stop looking at, maybe you're like, oh, I don't have the blonde hair, or I don't know how to take all the good pictures or all the videos, or I don't know how to dance for the TikToks or do all the things. Like, stop comparing yourself to those people and start looking for your strengths and start asking God, like, what am I good at? Where are my strengths? And that's all I got.
Oh my gosh, that was so Good. I love it when you talk. I just feel like you're so spirit led every time, and I just love it. And you made me think about a verse we talked about a couple weeks ago, that you're created for a time such as this. And the thing about that is you're created for such a time as this. That's what it says. It doesn't say we're created or this kind of person's created, but it calls you out specifically. You, Laura, you, Corey, you, Kim, you are created for such a time as this. And if we're not showing up authentically as ourselves, then you're missing the opportunity to reach the people God's putting in front of you. You're going to be able to touch lives, change lives, impact lives, save people, influence people, impact people that I never could. You have that power. And when we get trapped in this idea of comparison, thinking that we've got to look like XYZ, we've got to look like this or talk like this or show up like this, you start trying to poach my people or Laura's people, and you're not going to be able to take care of them the way they need. And while you're trying to show up as this forced version, the people who need you are just being left over here because I can't reach them. They can't relate to me. They don't need me. They need you. And you have to be comfortable showing up with who you are to reach them. I actually have a friend who joined this business and then dyed her hair blonde because she thought the only way to be successful was if you were blonde, because that was back in the day where all the top leaders were blonde. Okay. The truth is, though, is this is you're created for such a time as this. You are. And I want to challenge you guys to continue to dive deeper into what that is for you, being you, showing up authentically you, because what you have to offer in this world is so important. And as we've been talking over the past few weeks, guys, we're not here to build a business. We're here to build our dream business. And that means that you show up as you and you create something that is going to support you and your dreams. That's not going to look like me. That's not going to look like Rusty's business. That's not going to look like Laura's business. That's going to look so beautifully unique to you. But you have to put the blinders onto your journey before you're ever going to be able to make a dream business. Because you may be able to build my business and you may make a lot of money and you may be able to speak well, or you may whatever that is. But if that's not fueling your heart and soul, it will never sustain itself. It's never going to be the thing that is going to fuel you, that have you wake up excited in the morning to go to work, because you're building my dream. You're living my dream, not yours. And we put the blinders on and run your race. That's when you not only start seeing success in your business, but you start feeling passionate again. You start feeling fulfilled when you're showing up, because you're not just doing the things, you're doing the right things for you and your journey to get you where you need to go next, to help you reach the next person you're called to reach next. And you'll never reach them pretending to be someone else. You've got to be you. So Laura, why don't you jump in here and share some on the comparison trap?
Yes. Oh my. Okay. Sorry. First. Okay. Hi. You'll have to bear with me if my computer starts juggling around. I have it propped up on blankets on my bed because, I want to sit here and compare myself and be like, look, they have it all nice on their desk. And I have one that needs cuddle time. So that is where I'm at right now. I absolutely love talking about the whole comparison trap. Isabella, I am going to need you to lay down. Thank you. Because I have a few things I want to share. Yes. Comparison is the thief of joy. It was actually President Theodore Roosevelt who said that. And it was true back then. It's been true for all of humanity. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I have a few things, so I'm just going to kind of go. I'm sorry if I speak fast. It's just kind of how I am. I don't have notes, so I get scatterbrained. I should have notes. But you guys, here's an analogy I want you to think of. Let's pretend you're one of those blessed children who, when you turn 16, your parents bought you a car. Okay, let's pretend I wasn't. I don't know what that's like, but let's pretend you're one of those people. Okay, let's pretend it's your 16th birthday. You wake up, you get the keys to a busted up old Chevy Corsica. Okay, like doors don't work, everything's squeaky, but you are excited and you are blessed because you have a brand new car. You go to school that day and you find out your best friend, Samantha, whose also 16th birthday was that day, their parents bought them a brand new Mercedes. You were just so excited that morning when you got the keys to your brand new car, but now because Samantha got a slightly better car than you, now you're not as grateful for what you got. Okay, you need to understand that you need to appreciate what you have in the moment that you're given it, and not compare your happiness and have your happiness and the amount of happiness be based on what somebody else has. Okay, be just as grateful that morning when you got that car. I don't care how busted up it was a car. and you were so happy. But just because somebody else got something better should not take away any of the joy that you got for getting that brand new car. Okay. That was kind of just an analogy because I know Mariah likes her analogies and we always tend to go around cars. So I had to come up with one for cars. Okay. But I also want to talk about another aspect of the comparison trap that I feel like we avoid and don't talk about as much. Okay. Because I know we all get caught up in the, especially like if you're in a big team chat and so is promoting or booming customers here and there and left and right. And you're like, man, why can't I? First off, you need to understand that you are also only seeing the highlight reel. What work are they doing to put in to get all of those booms that you are not doing? What are they willing to sacrifice that you have not given up? They have a goal. They decided to reach it. They decided to go for it. You cannot compare the fact that you did not achieve your goals simply because you were not able to put in the work. Now, I'm not saying you did, maybe you did put in the work. This is where my next topic comes into, and this is what I struggled with. I've been in the business for over 3 years now, okay? And my biggest downfall was the comparison trap, but it wasn't comparing myself to where Mariah was or where Sandy was or where Rusty was. No, no, no. My comparison trap came into where I compared myself to where I thought I should have been. Back when I had an upline and we had a team page and I had a presidential and I had a triple and I had all those things, do you know how frustrating it was to show up on our team page 5, 6, 7 times a week, showing up as those triple diamonds were, and those triple diamonds weren't showing up at all? That presidential barely showed up, but here I was, little old executive and Ruby me, showing up, leading the power hours, leading the, devotional Zooms, leading the team page, because that's what I thought we needed to do, because that's what I thought a leader did. But yet I did not have the paycheck that these other people had. I felt like I was putting in the work and I wasn't getting the promotion. I wasn't where I thought I should be. And I let that bring me down, not because I compared myself to where I thought, somebody else was at in their business, because I fully accept everybody's path is their path. And I understand I needed to go through my journey so that I could teach somebody else how to get through that journey. I understand that, yes, I went Ruby, in my first, I don't even know, 6 months or so. Great. It took me forever to, few months more to go executive. Do you know, or Emerald. Do you know I still haven't gone Diamond? Do you know how frustrating that is? Do you know how I let myself get down so low because I felt like I was showing up as a double and a triple, yet I couldn't even make Diamond? That was my downfall. That was the comparison trap that I fell into. And all I can say is the only way to get out of that comparison trap, dive into self-development, dive into yourself, understand that, like Macy said, you are created for this moment. You are created. God knows every hair on your head and he catches every tear that falls from your face. Okay. That is for you. Mariah's promotions are for her. My promotions are for me. And like Macy said, she's in a growing season. Her promotions are coming and she knows it and she's accepting that it's coming. So she can't be upset about somebody else having theirs right now. And yes, it can be frustrating when you see somebody jump right into the business and they skyrocket and they go, Ruby in 15 days and Emerald in 40 days and Diamond in 90 days. And you can't. I understand it can be frustrating. But you understand that maybe that's their story that they need to tell. You have a different story and nobody else can tell your story except for you. So you need to just love on that. You need to be grateful for the small wins, appreciate the wins you receive along the way. Don't compare yourself to others and understand that where you think you should be, maybe you should be there. But here's the thing, God's timing is always perfect. It's not our time. It's his time. There's a Steve Harvey YouTube that he did one time about how you can pray for something and we always get upset because it doesn't come right when we want it. Well, the second we prayed for it, he put it in the mail, but you don't know what kind of letter carrier God's using nowadays. Okay. It's going to come when it comes. It's always going to come on time, but that doesn't equate to our time. So don't compare yourself to other people's stories because this is your story and only you can write it and only you can tell it. So that is all. I tried to keep it as short. You know me, I will keep going. That's why I should have notes. All right. I love y'all.
That was so good. Drop a one in the chat, you guys, if you took something away from Macy or from Laura, because I just loved every minute of that. I like how you talked about your story too, and how it took you, months to go Ruby, and then you went Emerald, and you kind of stuck in that. And if you guys have known my journey, I was the complete opposite. I was that super fast promoter. I went Ruby in my first 30 days. A month later went Emerald. 2 months later went Diamond. Within 8 months, I was double Diamond. But the thing is, if I could go back in time and do anything and tell my beginning self something, it would be not to do that. That's what everyone wants, right? That's what you want to compare to. You want to compare to the people who are going fast, who are seeing the success. But from someone who's been there, if I could go back, I would say to build it strong, build it right, build it in God first, anytime. And it's so different. Everyone's journey is so different, like Laura was saying. And you're there to learn a lesson so that you can teach that lesson. That's why you're going through this. That's why you're in the journey you're in, because Laura's going to have someone on her team who's going to go Ruby 6 months later, and month 5 wanted to quit. But Laura's like, girl, hang on. Work for it a little harder, because I was where you were and I did it too. And because she's been through that, she can reach someone that I cannot. That goes back to telling you, you've got to work in your lane. I can't sit here and be like 6 months in, be like, you got this. You can do it in your 6th month. Yes, I 100% believe it, but it doesn't have the same power coming from me that it does Laura, who she's walked that story, and she gets to now walk that story with her team. You have that same power. You get to walk with your team. You get to go out and trailblaze. That's what you're here for, is you are literally blazing the way for your team to go. You are overcoming obstacles so that you can teach your team how to go over them easier than you ever did. And you've got to be in your lane, running your race, to be able to be equipped as a leader that you are called to be for your team that is coming after you. So I want to go over 3 practical techniques that we can use to kind of help us navigate around the comparison trap, because I like some practicality, right? Like, I love to feel good. I love for you to inspire me, but also give me something I can tangibly take away from this. Okay. So write these 3 things down as we go. But the first thing when it comes to beating the comparison trap is you have to know what success looks like to you. That's important, because success to you may not be success to me, and success to me may not be success to you. Ambassador Diamond is not success for me. Yes, I want to go ambassador, okay? I want the title, I want the team, I want the recognition, I want the paycheck. Yes, but that's not success for me. Success for me is having legacy, having impact, having a ministry through this company. Success is right here, where I've got 30 people or 29 people on with me, a chance for me to pour into you, a chance for me to hopefully inspire you to believe in yourself a little bit better. That's success for me. It doesn't matter my rank. It doesn't matter my paycheck. That's not where I'm seeing my success. Now, that may not be your story. Maybe you're a fly on the wall. You're not someone that wants to be on the stage. You're not someone that wants to talk. Then my success, where I measure, like, I got to speak at the Charlotte event. I got to speak in Nashville a few months ago, or last year. I got to speak at other events. That's my success. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've made it. Now, I may be like shuffling pennies to get myself to these events. Business may not be in the great spot, but for me, that is not my success. You've got to know what your success looks like. Because if you don't know what your dream business is, you're going to be looking left and right, and you're going to start building someone else's dream. That's what I did. I joined this business. I was ignorance on fire. I ran super hard and went double in 8 months. My first double check in insert income disclosure was just shy of $9,000. Okay. I ran hard and fast, but I didn't build my dream. Yes, I want the money. Yes, I want the trips and the freedom and all that fun stuff, but it wasn't fulfilling, because that wasn't my dream. My dream was the people that you help along the way. But to run that quick race, I steamrolled people instead. I didn't build my dream business, so therefore it didn't sustain, it didn't maintain, it didn't create legacy and residual. That's what we want, right? And because I didn't build my dream, I built someone else's dream. I wasn't able to sustain it. So you have to know what your dream is. What are you here to do? Because yes, everyone wants to join to make some money, okay? But what does that money look like? What is your purpose here? Because if you're just in it for the money, you're going to tire yourself out. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to hit a wall, and you're not going to be able to keep pushing forward, because I'm sorry, but money's not that great. You guys have heard it. Like, money can't buy happiness. If you want a business, a dream business that's really going to change your life, you've got to figure out what's going to make you happy here and build that. And when you are building what's going to make you happy, what's going to give impact and purpose and fulfillment in your life, you're going to see the money, okay? That's going to come too, because you're going to be working from a different place. And you've got to be crystal clear on what it is that you want. Because when you know what you want, it makes it a little bit easier to stop comparing, because that person's journey you're looking at, they're building their dream. And it's okay that it doesn't look like yours. Maybe their dream's Ruby. Maybe their dream's ambassador. Maybe their dream is to do it really quick or to take a long time. Their dream is their dream. Maybe that nice car that we want to see, right? Someone posts, they just bought this new vehicle and you're like, dang, I'm still driving a beater. Like, this thing could break down any day. I want that car. If I had that car, my life would be happier. But the thing is, I'm not here for a car. I'm here for impact. So if I'm getting distracted looking at this car someone else has posted, I'm going to start running their race. I'm going to start working and building their dream because I'm looking at that. Have you guys paid attention if you're driving and you get distracted and you like start looking over here at like the cows? Your car goes that way a little bit. And if you look over here and you pass an accident, your car goes that way a little bit. That's the same with this business. When you start looking left and right, you start going left and right, and you're not running your race. You've got to know what you're here to do, because it's okay if your race looks different. It's okay if you don't want the car. It's okay if you don't want the fancy house. I was talking to Christy De Jesus, whatever, however you say her last name. I probably said it wrong, but I went with 2 routes, so one's probably right. I was talking to her at the Charlotte event, and she was talking about how her race was very different than a lot of people's race. She didn't go get a fancy house when she went ambassador. She didn't go get the fancy cars when she went ambassador. She had the money to. She didn't go get the Louis Vuittons. She didn't go get all this fancy, shiny things in an era of It Works when it was all about the fancy, shiny things. She stayed in her race. She ran her race. She paid off her debt. She stayed in a small house. She drove a reliable car, but not a fancy car. She kept doing, and the thing is, her mom passed away last year and she stepped back from her business and was okay. Because she didn't go run someone else's race and bring on a new car payment, a new mortgage. She built something sustainable in her lane, in her dream, that was then able to provide for her in a season where she wasn't able to provide for her business. When you start building your dream, you start building a livelihood, an entire existence past just you. And the second thing we got to do, once we've identified exactly what it is our dream is, we've got to put on blinders. And this is the hardest part, okay? Deciding what it is you want, dreaming a little bit, closing your eyes, really picturing what impact and dream you want to have. That's the fun part. That gets our hearts fluttering. We're like, oh, the possibilities. But then you got to put your blinders on, because the truth is, the reason you don't have that yet is your fault. It's you. You are the only thing standing in your way, because every single one of you was brought here for a reason, and God does not make mistakes. He did not put this business in your path for a faulty reason. He did not put that dream in your heart for a faulty reason. He did not bring you here just to abandon you here. He brought you here for a reason. Your heart has that desire and that dream for a reason. You're here, you're equipped, you're called, you're worthy. The only thing standing in your way is yourself, your insecurities, your distractions, your fears, your doubts. You're looking, you're left and right, you're giving up, you're taking a break, you're stepping back, you're not pushing forward, pushing through, finding out your passion, working anyways. You're holding yourself back. And when we put our blinders on and we focus on our race, it allows us to do the right next thing to achieve your dream, not my dream, not the fancy car, not Ambassador Diamond. Maybe your next dream is Ruby. If you haven't done that yet, that's a great freaking dream, okay? That's amazing. But if you're so worried about the person that just went Emerald or the person that just went Diamond, you're not going to have the heart, the grit, and the determination to get yourself Ruby, because you're wondering why you can't also be Diamond. And you can, and you could do it now. You could do it next month. You could do it the following month, but you've got to go Ruby first, regardless. So focus on your race. What is the next checkpoint in your race? Action is the antidote to fear. Fear, insecurity, doubt, that's what causes us to stop. If you find yourself today in a rut, I want to challenge you to put some action in it. If you guys have ever been off-roading, I have a lifted Jeep, okay? We like our redneck lifestyle over here sometimes. If you go off-roading and you get stuck, okay? If you know how to drive, as long as your frame's not on the ground, you're not stuck. You can get out of there. If your frame's on the ground, you may have to put some sticks in there, some sandbags, something else. But if your frame's not on the ground, you're not stuck. How do you get out of this rut? You put on the gas. If you're stuck in your business right now, I want to challenge you to put on the gas, to go do a dang action. Anytime I feel a lull in my business, anytime I feel like I'm spinning my wheels or I'm not XYZ, I go out and I send out 20 messages, or I go out and I get up 20 host to post, something more than what I've been doing, because action breeds confidence. Inaction breeds fear. So often we're stuck in a rut because we're not doing the things to get us out. You're not stuck unless your frame's on the ground. And I don't think any of you guys have a frame on the ground tonight. I think you're just too scared to press the gas pedal, do the work, the action, get a little dirty, and get your vehicle going again. That's what it's got to take to start building your dream. The third thing that we've got to do is we've got to practice gratitude. If you guys have been on with me, I know you've heard me say this quote, and it's probably one of the most profound things that I've ever heard. It completely rocked me. And someone said, I don't even know who said the quote, but is that if you woke up tomorrow only with the things you thanked God for today, would you be happy or would you not? And when I heard this the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I would have nothing. I would have nothing at all tomorrow. And so often we are stuck in comparison because we're comparing, like Laura said, where we think we need to be, where we think we should have been, what these people have and why I can't have that. But guys, God has delivered you through so much. Like, holy crap. God has brought you through every battle. He's brought you through every sickness. He's brought you through every loss. He's brought you through every turmoil. He's brought you through every mountain, every ocean, every time you felt like you couldn't do. He delivered you through that. So what on earth, how are we not grateful for every breath, every day, every time we wake up? We didn't have to have that. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. And when you wake up, that's God giving you another chance to go out there and start building and growing and doing. But you got to first be grateful that you even got there. That's like if I paid for you a trip and we show up and you just walk on past me. You're not going to say, thank you, I just gave you a vacation. That's kind of rude. We're showing up every day for this dream vacation of our life. This is literally a blank slate every morning where you get to create not some vacation you go to and you come home to, but a life that you get to live with impact and legacy that you can just fall in love with. And God gives you that gift every single morning. And we don't have the audacity to say thank you first. Come on. And when you say thank you, and when you start identifying grateful things, every morning I write 10 things I'm thankful for. And guess what? At the end of the month, that means I wrote about 300 things I'm thankful for. And that's going to go next month. And that's going to go next month. And just like when we go to the gym and we start working out, I may not be able to do 300 reps on day one, but if I can do one, and then tomorrow I can do 2. And the next day I can do 3. Before long, it gets easier because I worked out that muscle, right? When we start working out our gratitude muscle, it becomes easier to see things. Before we know it, we see God's hand, not in hindsight, where we're like, yes, God, I see where you brought me through that. You start seeing God's hand in where you are today, what you're doing today, because you start training your brain to find it. Because there's some days when I come out of a really crappy yesterday and I'm like, I know, God, I'm thankful for you, but I really can't even pinpoint why I'm thankful. I start going to those thanks for running water. Thanks for, heat in my house. Thanks for the light switch working, things like that, because I feel I'm at the bottom of my rope at that moment. But even in that, I'm finding God in the moments. I'm training myself to start looking for things around me of joy, of happiness, of peace, of God, because he's in every single moment and he's brought us so far. Every single one of you guys, whether you joined a couple days ago or you've been here for years, you are not the you were when you started. You've evolved, you've grown. Your business has 1 customer, has 100 customers, has 1 teammate, has 100 teammates, has more. You've done so much. And we have to let go of this disillusion that we're supposed to be somewhere. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be where you're at. You're not missing something. You're not late. You're where you're supposed to be. And when we start being grateful, like we've talked about of this year, we start showing up with open hands. Not these closed fists of I should be somewhere else and they have the nice car and I need another team member for another bonus because I only have one and she had 7 and I need and I need and I need. But when we start showing up with those empty hands, those open hands of God use me, God transform my business, God take me somewhere, God bring the right people, God empower me, grow me, change me. You start creating a business that will outlast you, that is going to do more than just help someone lose weight. You're going to go out there and you're going to save people's lives. You're going to transform their finances, their marriage. You're going to have an impact past you. You're going to help people get healthy. You're going to help people be able to be around with their grandchildren. You are going to start creating an impact, a legacy, something bigger than you. But you cannot do that running someone else's race. You will never be the person you are called to be, looking left and right. You have to start showing up as you because you are a gift to humanity. You are a gift. You are so special. You are so powerful. And you are called at a time such as this. I know God's bringing the right people into your path. I know your business is growing. And I know you are going to make it. Guys, the only way not to achieve your dream is to quit before you get there. You're on the right track. You just have to keep going and believing that the one who put the promise and the desire in your heart, the one that promised to bring this to you is faithful and that he will do it because Lord Jesus, he will. And if you stay the course, you're going to see such a beautiful future, not just for you, but for your children and your children's children and your friends' children, and an impact that's going to go so much further than you. And I know each one of you guys have that power. So thank you so much for taking some time out of your night tonight and hopping on with us. Hopefully you guys took something away. So before we hop off, I'm going to pray us out and I will see you guys back on same time, same ID next week. And this will be posted up on my YouTube later on this evening. So dear Lord Jesus, thank you so much for giving us this space to come together, to really grow into who we are, who you're calling us to be, to grow into our business. And we're just so thankful for each and every single person you have on this Zoom. I know you've called them here for a reason, to this business for a reason, to a time such as this, that you're working miracles in their life in ways that they can't even fathom right now. You have such a big thing they're walking into, and you're doing the groundwork and you are blessing every step they take. So I pray everyone here continues to take those next right steps and that you continue to bless them as they do. In dear Lord Jesus' name, amen. All right. Love you guys. And I will see you all next week.